Hey everybody, this is Jennifer with Northwest Stamper, and today I wanted to share with you Paper Pumpkin, which is a project kit that comes in the mail. It's a subscription service that Stampin' Up! Has, and I've been getting it since the very beginning. So it was 2 years ago in March, I think it was, that they started this program. And let me tell you, if you haven't tried it in a while, or you only saw the early ones, it has come a long way. This is a great gift. This is a fun thing that it comes in your mail each month. It's a box, always this size, and inside you always get a surprise. We never know in advance what it is. You always get at least 1 or 2 ink spots. These are little 1-inch squares with the latest inks in them, and they promise that they will not recycle, or so far they've said that they don't recycle the colors in a 12-month period. So over the course of 12 months, you will get anywhere from between 12 and 24 unique colors that you can use in your projects. You also get a stamp set that is a photopolymer set, and these are exclusive to these kits. You can't buy them anywhere else, and they've had some really cute ones lately. And then you have your project kit, which makes a number of projects. It looks like this one's going to make 8 cards and envelopes, and it has everything pre-cut, all the accessories and embellishments you need. It comes with glue dots. The only things that you need is some adhesive and some scissors. Now, I was so excited when I got a sneak peek, because some people got theirs early and posted it, of this one, and so I had to show you not only how to make this, but I maybe thought I'd show you a couple other fun ideas you could try too. So let's get to it and play with our paper pumpkin. So we just walked through these 2 cards. These are the defaults in your kit, but I wanted to come up with a couple more ideas, and my challenge is always to come up with some different ideas that use just what's in your kit. We have great craft rooms, there's lots of cute things, and I can come up with more cards and ideas, and I probably will, to share later, that use other supplies with the stuff. But here are 2 examples of some other cards you could make to switch things up. So instead of doing this guy, use the same pieces and make this card. And then instead of making this card, use the same pieces to make this card. Yes, these are exactly the same components. Now, I'll show you really quick what you have to do to make these cards. So we'll start with the easy one. We'll start with the flower. So you're taking your same base here. This is that same craft card base. And then these here are the same stickers that we used on here. So you're just going to grab your sticker sheet and start pulling pieces. And I think I started with the sort of flower rectangle and just put it sort of evenly spaced along the bottom. I grabbed one of these green rectangles and we just tucked him up here. Then one of these tan guys goes up in the other corner, evenly spaced. Grab a little polka dot square, and she goes up here. And then I grabbed one of these blue plaid pieces, and he just finishes up your corner, and he can either go across or whatever you feel like. The nice thing is that I'm going to be putting the twine here, so it doesn't really matter. So you do that. Doesn't look the prettiest ever, but the nice thing is you're going to take your white piece of paper, and there's one side you will find that matches this. So it's not that one, it's this one. So he's going to get glued on top with, again, some more of this even spacing. Now before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So what I did is I went back to the stamp set we got, and I grabbed out the little flower. And if you have the smaller block at home, great. If you don't, then just use your big block. So pick your guy here. So he fits on here like this. So I set him down. You're going to ink him up. Stamp off on your paper once, and then stamp your flower down at the bottom. So off, down at the bottom, off, down at the bottom, and so on until you get a cute little row of flowers. And then you can clean them off, put them away, and then get the happy thoughts, or get happy thoughts for you sentiment. We're going to put him on here, ink him up full strength, so no tapping off. And we'll just set him right above. And hopefully he's straight. In my case, he's not. So let's flip it over. We'll do it really quick on the back side so that it looks a little bit cuter and more like how we meant for it to look. And this is why we love the fact that there are two sides, so you can try it again and find the side you love. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to glue this down onto our card, and we'll just use our tape runner. And so put a little bit on here. And then I glued it down so that it had some nice even spacing along the bottom, and I let it overlap the top because that just looked nicer to my eyes. And then I'm going to take my twine. We're going to unwrap some. Now here's how I do whenever I'm going to tie a bow. I always leave a little bit of extra hanging off the top so that I have room for it to tie. And I start there, so I've held it. That's going to be a little bit too short. So I'll add a little bit more so that I can do my actual bow. And then I just wrap. This way I don't have to figure out measuring. And then I come down and I leave about the same amount of tail. On the other side, cut it off. And then you can take these, and you should have enough to do your bow. So you just tie a knot, and we'll tie our little bow. So there, I always hold it with the finger. I always sort of switch back and forth on a finger. If you can, have a friend help hold if you want. But then you just tie a cute little bow. So there's my bow. And then what I like to do is I like to take my ends once I've done it and just sort of stretch them out just so that it fills up the space with my twine. And if you have a loop like this that's really huge, you can hold your knot and pull so you get the loops to look about how you want. And that made mine too long. Snip. And then we'll go over to our flower punch outs. And I just popped out my flower in the center and two leaves. And this is where we're going to grab our glue pen. And we're just going to start putting a little bit of glue on here. Stick your flower down in the center. And I let it stick up over the top a little bit. It just gives it some dimension. Go out of the box just a little. And then take your leaves and do the same thing. Add a little bit of glue on the back. And because you're using two-way glue, which gives you a little bit of flexibility, you can take and just sort of peel up. It's peeled up one side so I could tuck a leaf in on that side. And then we'll do the same on the other. And then finally take one of these little buttons, and in this case I did take my glue dots and I put them on so there's one side that looks like a bowl, the other side looks like a dome. I make it look like a bowl, and I'm just sticking my glue dots. And once you have your glue dots on, you can just stick them in the middle and your card is done. Easy peasy cute, right? Totally. Okay, so that was that card. And then the next one is the slightly trickier one, and that's this guy. So as you can see, they're slightly different sizes and shapes, but they use the same supplies, and here's how. So first you're gonna need a trimmer for this, sorry guys, or some good scissors. You're gonna take your card base and we're gonna cut off the bottom. So this guy here, let me grab my trimmer out, and I will do this with you. He is 5 3/4. So you can just take him up here, put him at 5. Make sure you put your scoring line over here. So 5 3/4, and then we just cut and take off that. So now we have our card base. And then you may be wondering, where is this pattern paper coming from if I'm not using anything from the kits? Well, remember how we are making our envelopes? Well, that liner is going all the way down. And the thing is when you're opening up to slide a card, you don't really need to have it go all the way down. You can do this one. It actually stops right about here, but you don't notice when you're doing your card. So what we're doing is taking advantage of that by taking one of these liners, and I have to double check, I have to remind myself of my measurement, and it's 5. So we take this to 5 on our trimmer and slice. And then this is 3 1/4. Yes, so you take him to 3 1/4. So make sure you cut your 5 first, because this is why you're gonna want it later. So 3 1/4. You're gonna save this piece because we're gonna use him in just a minute. So this piece you're actually going to want, I think it's, yeah, 1/2 inch. So we're just going to slide it in here at 1/2 inch and get mine straight. My fingers are a little bit sticky from the glue. There we go. Okay. And then you'll keep this little 1/2 inch piece. So what you need to do with these is you take your ink pad. Now if you have the ink spot, it's just as easy to go around the edge with your ink spot to color the edges. Because I don't like doing that with my foam pads, these shiny new ones, because you run the risk of actually cutting the foam and having a permanent line, which is no good at all. What we're going to do is we're going to take and glue this white piece down about, oh goodness, I would say 1/4 inch, but I could be wrong. This is, yep, I was right. 1/4 inch, look at that, good guessing. So roughly 1/4 inch from the edge. You'll just glue him down. And then if you have your, like I said, if you have your little ink spot, just go around the edge. If you don't, grab a sponge, paper towel, whatever you have, just to add. I love my sponge daubers. It keeps my fingers from getting too messy, gives me lots of control. But you just run them along the edge because we're just going to darken the edges. This will just make it pop out from our card base a little bit and just give us a little touch of something. So all along here, on all your edges. And if you haven't done sponge daubers or you have a challenge, I find it easier to try to hold this as flat and stable and do all of my coloring going up and down with my dauber. So now that you have that done, set aside, we'll use these more in a minute, but now you can just glue him straight down onto your card. Okay, now set him aside. Now we're going to grab one of these little pieces. Now on your original, you put your pieces down and you left spacing. This time we're not going to do spacing, so you're just going to grab some of your wood pennants and you're going to grab some of your sticker ones and just start gluing them together, ending with these little triangles. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, once you're done putting all those together so they're all close, you'll see you have a little bit of space, and that's great. So we'll save that. That's where we're going to do our stamping. So what you'll do is you'll grab this It's Your Day sentiment and we'll sit it on here, and then we'll ink it up and stamp it right up there, leaving a little bit of space to the right. So just ink here. And because it's totally clear, you can see where you're stamping and make sure that it's where you want. So there you go. It's your day. And it's going to go over sometimes on top of that part, but that's totally fine. I'm also going to do a little bit of sponging. Again, I want it to stand out the edges. So we're just using our sponge dauber. And again, just going along the edges. The wood will chew up your sponge dauber just a little. So just be gentle when you get to the wood parts. So you can hear that scratch, scratch. We're just going to go along, make our edge. It'll look really good once it's on top of the other edge we made. And do all the way along the top. And then the last step, actually there's two. When you did this guy here and that little green star came out, I took him and I just sent him right in the middle here. It's really subtle, but it just ends up looking cute because next I'm going to take my twine and we're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. Is we're just going to give ourselves some extra, wrap it around, and we're just going to tie a little bow in our center. Okay, once you have your bow on there, next all we have to do is grab our dimensionals, stick them on top. I grabbed 3 and I'm going to cut them each in half, and I'll show you where I put them. I put 1 in each upper corner. I put 1 pointed down at the tip. I have 1 there on that side, 1 over here on this side, and then 1 in the middle. And that just gives it some stability so that it'll stay up on its own. I always like doing 1 dimensional in the middle, just on big pieces. You don't need a ton, but a big one in the center just helps keep it from falling down in the center when there's pressure, when it mails. It just lets it stay where you want it to be. So we're just going to put it on here, overlap that white line. I did that there so that we could actually see this edge. And then the final piece is you're going to take a star. I took one of these little, not the tiniest, but a middle star, and try to gently pop him out if you can. So, and sometimes the wood rips and that's okay. Take one of these, take a glue dot, stick it on back here, peel him up, and then he goes right there next to It's Your Day. And there you have a cute card that opens, will fit inside one of your envelopes and match. And it's just something a little bit different from your original. So I hope you enjoyed these ideas. I love Paper Pumpkin. It's a lot of fun. It's always an interesting surprise in your mailbox each month. And like I said, there's really no obligation if you sign up for a subscription. It's $19.95 a month in the US. It includes free shipping with that. You get everything here, your stamp set, your block, your ink. Everything is great. Or save a little bit, get a prepaid subscription. And as a special thanks for me, if you can do it in the next week, I will be sending you a little thank you card using this stamp set so you can get even more ideas with your supplies on using this, as well as some extra little goodies in that envelope, or even your own hostess benefits. If you get a year subscription, you save $2 a month for the entire year. You get over $20, I think it's over $20 in free product, and you're going to get some free stuff from me. So super duper score. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, watch your inbox. I'm sending out information about a new Paper Pumpkin with Northwest Stamper Facebook group where we will be sharing lots of ideas and tips. So I hope to see you there. Thanks so much and have a great day.